Hello everybody, Queen Trisha here, and today I wanted to discuss something I have not been able to find anything on, so I've been playtesting myself, and that is MD Ruin. So what is MD Ruin? That stands for Master Demonologist and Ruin Talent. Now, a lot of people consider this spec very bad. That it just does not compete with Shadow Mastery Ruin and DS Ruin. But after playtesting it, it's not only viable, it's pretty damn good. So let's just get right into it. So, talents, what are we rolling with for this build? Well, you can do some different things here. You can go demonic this, or you can go 3, 2. Doesn't really matter. I think right now I'm running Hellstone because we're about to do a queue and my raid is requiring us to hand those out. So, not important. Fell Intellect increases your Demon's Mana by 15. Very good. Now, this is where it gets a little muddy. You want Improved Succubus, that's the one you're going to be using. You want Fell Domination and put 2 into this. I was trying to put 1 and 5 in here, but you really need to, if your pet dies, you really need to summon them instantly. So, yes, they lose 3% health, but with raid buffs, it's not that big of a deal. Increase your damage by 20. Increase Succubus's damage by 10, you and your Succubus. Now, this is where it gets key, and I'll explain the differences between DS Ruin and this build in a bit. So then you go into your destruction, you got Improved Shadow Bolt, reduce cast time, Ink reduces the Lash of Pain, so it's spamming Lash of Pain a lot. Shadow Burn, Devastation, Ruin, and Destructive Reach to increase range. Pretty standard stuff. What you will notice, the difference here, is that you do not have Improved Life Tap. Now, I personally haven't used Life Tap a lot. I think if you're clearing quick enough and fast enough, you shouldn't really need it. I personally, instead of life tapping, I just use demonic runes and major mana potions. I find that to be fine, and if you do need a life tap, it's not the end of the world. So, what gear would you use? Ideally, this is the setup. Nem hat, hit neck, Nem shoulders, Cloak of Consumption, Bloodvine, Nem, Nemesis, again, Bloodvine, Zanzil's, Band Seal, Neft here, and then your choice for Last Trinket. I just have Eye and the Beast in here because it's easier to look at the stats that way, and that's what I have. Obviously, weapons can change too. This is the setup I'm running, and we look at spell damage, 385, not bad. Unenchanted, unbuffed. No consumes. So, why MD Ruin? Well, let's do a little bit of math here. Let's make this page bigger. There we go. Okay. Let's go over Demonic Sacrifice real quick. So this is MD. Demonic Sacrifice, the meta standard build that most warlocks will be running, looks something like this. I don't remember what you would put in. Maybe some of these. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. Demonic Sacrifice. 5 into here, 2 into here. I like to put it into Cataclysm, the last two, just because mana efficiency. So, this is the build most people are running. Demonic Sacrifice, Succubus, increase your shadow damage by 15%. Now you might be thinking that's more than 10%, but you gotta remember your pet actually does quite a bit of damage. So, we got whoops. We got DS Ruin. Okay, DS Ruin. 15%. We got MD Ruin. We actually got 20% because it's shared. It's you and your pet. It's 5 more. Now, this is all you get. But with the MD build, you will see that you get a lot of stuff for your pet while keeping demonic, or while keeping the Ruin talent. Reduce the cooldown of Lash of Pain by 6 seconds. It has a 6-second cooldown. It's just rapid firing. So you also got 20, 50% damage on your lasting pain. Where is my paint? So plus 50 pet DPS. So total 15 increased damage to you. Total here got, on paper, 70% increased damage. Does that equate it? Not really, but you get the idea. On paper, MD should do a lot better. So you might be thinking, well, if you stack enough spell power because you don't need the 5-piece, you could pull ahead. Well, that's not necessarily true either. So we're looking at best in slot gear, phase 5 right now. 373 spell damage. We got everything we need here. 12% hit. Everything's golden. Look at this. 385 hit. It actually pulls ahead. Very slightly, but it does pull ahead. So you're not losing anything by doing this build, except 5% damage. So on paper, this build should be better. But what's the problem here? Well, the problem is your Succubus is pretty weak in health department. Damage department, it's pretty good. It's about 15 to 20% of your overall damage. Not too shabby. But this is a problem because any AoE pretty much one-shots your Succubus. So what do you do about that? The 5-piece, kind of the only thing you can do about it. What does that do? Your pet's 20 stamina, 130 spell resistance. Not... You would think that that would be enough, but it's really not. The raw damage kind of kills your pet a lot. So I'm going to show you some logs here. This is me unbuffed, just play testing it. I want to find mine. And we will do a fight that's pretty simple, Evan Rock. You just gun into the boss. Where was my damage? 404 with demonic or MD Ruin. 404. No World Bus, full consume. Let's go back a week. Ebon Rock. $426. So you can see that I was slightly ahead. That was due to, honestly, some lucky crits. Not gonna lie there. They're about the same damage. So with being about the same damage, where does this build lie? Well, that is a hard question to answer. And I think a lot of it comes down to playstyle. I think that it is a lot harder to play MD because of your pet. You have to manage your pet very well due to the small health pool of your pet. If you do it correctly, on paper you should net a little bit of DPS, and I say a little bit. But is there anything else useful about being MD spec? Yes, there is actually. AQ is coming up, and one of the things you need is resistance. Fell Hunter gives you 60 to all resistances. So, on fights that you would like more resistances, maybe your resistance gear is lower, maybe it's fine. It never hurts to have more resistance. So, if you're twin imp tanking, that's free 60 shadow resist. You're doing the blob boss, that's 60 nature resistance right there for free. It's very useful. Not only that, you do get, since you have your succubus out and you're not sacking, you can get seduction, you can get purge, you can get spell locks, all kinds of different things, which is fantastic. Oh no, a Nixia guard. So that's a little bit of that. Now, overall, where do I think this spec lies? I think it's viable. I don't think it's optimal. With the difficulty of keeping your pet alive, with the difficulty of just playing it in general, that's basically it, just keeping your pet alive. It's very difficult, even with buffs. Like, you can buff your own pet, you can have people buff your pet, whatever. You can even have healers heal your pet. I have had that just for playtesting purposes. It's just difficult. Same thing with hunters. And hunters have literally, their pets normally have double the amount of health your pet has. So yeah, viable, not optimal. I think, in my opinion, it could pull ahead of Simruin. I think it could also pull ahead of DS Rune if you're very good, and depending on the boss fight. But I have not found really anybody talking about this spec. I don't think it's bad. I think it's also great for dungeons. It's great for solo content. It's very okay in PvP. You probably want to go Soul Link Nightfall instead. But I run this in PvP, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah. That's another thing you can also think about is if you're having huge threat problems with. Let's be honest, you shouldn't. But if you are, in your raid, you can pull out your imp, and that gives you 20%. This is more effective on horde side since you don't have salve. Salve, you might still need it, and that would bump you up to 50% reduced threat, which is crazy amount of threat reduction, but if you need it, that's always an option too. And if you are going to go that route, scrap this, put it into improved imp, and then scrap this, improve firebolt. that is pretty much it and what I wanted to talk about. I might throw up some gameplay about it maybe sometime later. Maybe I'll do a dungeon with it. If you guys want to see that, see what it looks like in action, just let me know. But I think everyone, if you're looking for something new, something different, you don't like the Warlock playstyle, you want that pet, this is definitely a viable option. So, with that being said, if you like what you saw, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, whatever, what all those cool kids these days are doing, and let me know what you want to see next, because I do plan on going through every Warlock spec possible. This just happened to be the one that was on my mind, and I was theory crafting a lot, and just thought it was a fun and interesting build. So, I'm going to wrap this up. I've blabbed on long enough. See you guys later.